In 1905, French novelist Maurice Leblanc introduced the character of Arsène Lupin, a gentleman thief who steals from the arrogant rich who flaunt their wealth or have acquired it through immoral means. The stories were very successful and garnered a lot of attention in their native France. The books were contemporary to Arthur Conan Doyle's Sherlock Holmes, which at that point had been enjoying worldwide success for over a decade. The prospect of having the two characters, operating on opposite sides of the law and the English Channel, face off against each other seems like an obvious creative daydream, and in 1906 Leblanc decided to do just that. Over the span of two stories, he had planned to have the dashing thief match wits with England's great detective. The story started to be published in serialized form in the French magazine Je sais tout, which was home to all of the Lupin stories. The only problem was that Leblanc had not made any attempt to get any kind of legal clearance for these crossover stories, and news of the publication soon got back to Doyle. It's not clear exactly who put a stop to things, with differing accounts saying that Doyle's publisher threatened legal action, and others saying that Doyle himself wrote a letter to Leblanc to kindly ask him to stop. To overcome the copyright issues, Leblanc came up with an idea that was simplistic to the point of being absurd, and switched the name of Sherlock Holmes in the remaining chapters to Herlock Sholmes. Amazingly, this worked, and that's the name that was kept when the stories were collected into the book Arsène Lupin contre Herlock Sholmes, or Arsène Lupin versus Herlock Sholmes. It wasn't just Holmes whose name had to be changed, but also his famous companion Watson, who was now named Wilson in the Lupin stories. The flimsy circling of copyright law would remain the way these particular Lupin books would be reprinted for decades. Adding a third name to the fray, one of the first English translations of the Lupin books to appear in the UK in 1910 changed the Holmes name to Holmlock Shears, an edition that also saw a release in the US. Both characters are now long since in the public domain, and reprints of the Arsène Lupin books now have the Sherlock name restored, although some editions choose to use the Sholmes name as a tongue-in-cheek throwback. They finally crossed over officially for the first time in the 2007 video game Sherlock Holmes vs. Arsène Lupin, and in 2024, The Further Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, a great pastiche series of novels by various authors that see Sherlock cross over with many other famous Victorian and turn-of-the-century fiction novels, published The Gentleman Burglar, which had the legendary detective team up with the dapper French thief to find lost Bourbon treasure.